Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like I'm so proud of going into yellow, but at the same time, I didn't win the jersey. Do you know what I mean?
Today I chat with Ben Healy, medal in the World Road Race Championships, and he wore yellow jersey in the Tour de France.
I got to the back on the descent, and everyone lets you do that then, because like, oh, he's not going to attack on the descent. It's super easy to follow. But like, we knew what was coming, and I just found that moment perfectly. Came with a bit of speed. They hesitate, and bam, I'm gone.
Today we talk about the story behind the jersey that didn't feel like victory. A year of work, every detail planned, training, aero, the perfect moment, all leading to that single attack to put him into yellow. Ben Healy, welcome to the Roadman Podcast.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me.
It's been a while coming. Congratulations. It's been a big year.
Yeah, right. It's been an insane year for me, to be honest. Yeah, I think this is kind of the pro season that you dream of.
When you sat down at the start of the year and you're laying out goals, is it like even close to the goals you laid out, or is it like way past that?
Yeah, I think it's I don't know, right? I think I always like to be quite ambitious with my goals, and yeah, it's so often kind of fall short of that. As with cycling, it doesn't always go your way, unless you're Taddy. But yeah, yeah, I think really the one that I really wanted was a stage win at a tour, and yeah, then everything else that's come along with that is just yeah, been mental really.
But so talk me through that step, because like you've been a good bike. We were just a bit of reminiscing off air there, like we were doing the same races like 5 years ago, and now I've a shitty podcast, and you're standing on the podium in worlds. Like we've certainly gone different directions, but it's been a mad step up for you. Like I was looking pro cycling stats, and maybe I missed some results, but like 2024, you had the stage win in Tour of Slovenia. Like a few other there or thereabouts, but like what a step up from 24 to 25. Now I know 23 had one stage of Giro, your second Amstel Gold, but what a massive step up from 24 to 25. Like talk me through what happened in that off season that you came in at a totally new level.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think the moment I made the step up was actually 23. Um, and like I had that breakout period in the Ardennes, and yeah, like with when the stage in the baby Giro, no, not baby Giro, real Giro. But yeah, and then I went into 24 with like super high expectations of myself, and it kind of all nothing really went right. Like I didn't really find the level again, and I don't know, I was like racing not really very smartly, kind of the way that I'd always raced, but gotten away with because no one knew who I was.
Yeah.
And now people knew who I were, and I needed to go back to the drawing board and rethink how I'd race. And then yeah, we go to the tour, and it's like I'm kind of doing the same mistakes that I did in the Ardennes still, and yeah, it just didn't work out. It's the Tour de France. You can't just ride people off your wheel, which is okay, that it's not exactly what I've done, but it's like I've just always just kept going, kept going, kept going until people crack. And in the Tour de France, you can't get away with this, especially over 21 days. Um, so yeah, it wasn't 24 wasn't like the ideal season, but I sat down in the winter with my coach and like kind of went through like what's gone wrong here. And actually I learned so much. And yeah, I think that's the thing that's kind of kicked me on for 25. It's not that I've found like a new level, and for sure I've gotten a bit better and like steadily progressed each year, but actually it's really like diving into the mistakes that I've made in the past and like finding solutions to those and a better way of going about racing and trying to race a bit smarter, I guess. And yeah, I figured out how I need to win and the things that I need to do to put myself in a position to do that.
So you think the big step up was tactical?
I think a massive part of it, yeah, actually.
That's interesting
Um,
because everyone dives for straight away, like, oh, Ben Healy's mad fuel strategy, or the aero, because you've been rocking that Pock aero helmet. Pock actually sent me that aero helmet. I have it on the shelf behind.
oh yeah,
And
sweet.
we do this like Thursday chop ride where we just go full gas for an hour on a Thursday. And it's like I can't even bring myself to wear it on the Thursday chop. I put it on a couple of times in the mirror. I was like, man, I know it's fast, but it looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that. But like, yeah, when you win in bike races, in it, it's can't argue with that, can you?
You almost want to throw it in the backpack, like riding to the start of the race in case anyone sees you in it.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. It's yeah, it's got a bit of a bad nickname on the on the bus when you're wearing it, but yeah, it's fast, and that's what matters in bike racing at the end of the day.
But tactically, what you're talking about there actually reminds me of when I was chatting to Dan Martin about this. And at a point, Dan Martin was known for his unpredictability, but at a point, his unpredictability almost became predictable.
Hmm.
And he had to go back to the drawing board and go, if everyone expects the unpredictable, it's not unpredictable anymore. How do I rethink this tactical lens that I view races through now?
Yeah, no, I think that's almost like quite similar for me. It's like I said, I could get away with the things that I was doing before because everyone would go, oh yeah, just like I mean, I guess like you need to I win races by going solo. And like by quite some distance. And in the past, people would go, "Oh, he's that's just stupid. Why is he doing that?" Like a good example of this is the second nationals that I won. I'm attacking like Ryan Mullen and Sam Bennett, Dylan Corkery, and these guys, and I attack them like for the 15th time, and then Ryan's like getting fed up with it, and this is like 110k to go, and he goes, "I'll just let him go. We'll catch him back." He can't do it solo, and then he just never saw me again. But that's only something you get away with once. Um, so yeah, this is the thing. This is how I used to race, and I'd catch people by surprise in that way. Whereas now I can't do that anymore. So now I need to find a new way to catch people by surprise, if you get me.
But like
I
almost
think
your Tour de
that's
France stage win was like everyone knew that was coming. It was like that move is coming. I'm almost like I'm not letting Ben Healy behind me if I'm in that group because you're dropping 10 yards off the back of that group and running at them. Like, what does your power look like for those type attacks? Like, how choreographed is it? Are you looking and thinking, okay, here's my 1 minute to create separation. I know what I'm sitting at, and then I know the power I'm at for the next 5 minutes to stretch the gap, and then my cruising speed.
yeah. Well, I'm not really looking at the power to be honest. It's all about catching people by surprise. Because like I mean, people can see like I lose every sprint I do, so if I go to the line, I'm screwed. But also like that, like I don't attack very hard either because I just physically can't. So I need to catch people by surprise. And like if I do that on a climb, I need to be stronger than everyone. Which in that group in the tour, like the Simon Yates, there's Quinn Simmons who was on absolute fire that week, Matthew Van Der Poel. I'm not exploding away from these guys, and like I'm not just simply dropping them outright on a climb. And so once I was in that break, there was a conversation with the DSs like, you need to find me a place where I can go and people aren't going to expect it. And where I went was like this kind of like twisty downhill with like a slight little rise. Like it was nothing, but it's just enough that everyone would like slow down and I could come with some speed by behind and he like stamped that in. And I was like, okay, I got to the back on the descent, and everyone lets you do that then, because like, oh, he's not going to attack on the descent. It's super easy to follow. But like we knew what was coming, and I just found that moment perfectly. Came with a bit of speed. They hesitate, and bam, I'm gone. And then once I got that 20 meters, then it's just about yeah, sticking my head down and riding like as efficiently as I can. And the thing that I think about is you know, I can get super air on the flat and save a bit of energy and yeah, then get real air on the descents and like really like rest and recover and then I just whack the climbs as hard as I can. And obviously that needs to be done with in mind how many K or whatever I've got to go because you got to pace the effort. But I feel like that really plays with people as well because then they're like they go, oh, we're bringing him back now, and then you hit the climb. Like, okay, we'll just push a little bit, and we'll really bring him in. But then I whack the climb as well, and the gap goes out, and then that just like
Morale.
completely destroys,
Yeah.
yeah, completely destroys the morale of people. So that's kind of the thing that I'm aiming to do.
How scientific is the pacing for those solo moves? Are you leaning into like the W ball modeling? And we're seeing a lot of the World Tour coaches start to figure out. I know Dunbar used this W ball modeling with Vecta for his Vuelta stage win, or is it old school instinct?
To be honest, that's the first time I've heard of that. So yeah, yeah, I don't know.
It's
No, it's
actually
just
really
just
cool. It's
yeah.
yeah, so few of the teams are using it. Yeah, I think Visma are using it. Archaea are using it randomly. A couple of others, but yeah, it's this idea that we've moving away from threshold power into critical power, and then above critical power we have W prime, and you can start to figure out. Like if you had to pace a 60k effort, the fastest way to get to the finish isn't a linear pacing from 0 to 60k because you're going to have to ride the climbs harder than that. So you instinctively probably ride the climbs, I don't know, 420, 430 watts up the climbs, a little bit less on the downhills. W Ball starts to figure out how hard you can push on those climbs without blowing. Like if you ride a bottom of the climb at 600 watts after whatever, a minute, 2 minutes, you're going to blow your lights. It gives, I guess, mathematical expression to what you probably intuitively know as a bike rider.
Yeah. No, yeah, that kind of sounds like what I do anyway, but I think that's something that I'm kind of just quite instinctively good at. I've done so many long solos and stuff like this. I know how to pace that effort. But then I guess the thing that doesn't take into the equation is like actually how far are the people behind you and who's chasing you. It's yeah, like in that instance, like I got to a climb like halfway through that, and who was it, Quinn Simmons and Michael Storer, they were coming back at me, and then like that's a point where okay, maybe pacing's out the window, then you just got to stay ahead over that climb,
Yeah.
but then you got to refine that rhythm again. So yeah, it's I think that's something that I'm pretty good at, like even for a TT, so many guys are like stuck to a pacing plan, but I never ask for one, because I really try and feel it, and every day's different, and every day's different to what you can do.
Aero is obviously pretty important in the type of rider that you are. How much have you leaned into aero? Obviously, the UCI have come and stamped on some of your aero gains this year with the changing the bars, helmets banned for next season. But how much aero testing have you done? And then how much, sneaky gains do you still think there is to be made in that area?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really done too much aero testing. Just, it's yeah, you need a big budget team to kind of get a lot of support in that, and yeah, that's not something that we have like infinite resources to test, unfortunately. And yeah, we're looking to do more and more of that now, but I think it's something that I've kind of like naturally leaned into, and just kind of trying to find my own gains, and do what I can where I can. And yeah, that's a massive help from my coach, like Jacob Tipper. He's super into that, and yeah, it's always taking tips from him really, and doing his suggestions, but then also yeah, thinking about it myself, and just trying to maximize everything that I know works. But I guess I don't have solid data to always back that up and prove it. But yeah, aero is just it's massive, and just doing everything as best I can, and try and being as efficient as possible, especially when you're trying to ride solo is pretty important.
I think there's more aero affordable stuff coming down the pipeline. I chatted to the WAHOO, who obviously sponsors EF as well. I was chatting to the CEO the other day. And my question to him was kind of like, you remember when you used to get a iPhone and then the one after that just had so many more cool things on it? It was like the first one was just a phone, then the next one was like a phone and a camera, and then the next one was like all your music and shit. It's like, wow, this is unreal. And then at some point, I don't know where it was, like iPhone 9 to iPhone 10, there's just no difference. They're all the same now. And I was just like, are head units that basically? Like, how many more data screens do I need? How many more maps do I need? They're all basically pretty cool. If you have a WAHOO or if you have a Hammerhead, they're all kick ass right now. But he actually disagreed. He thinks the new innovations are coming around aero. That WAHOO have that built-in aero sensor now on the front of it, and they're going to start developing in the next few years actually useful tools for that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that'd be yeah, massive gain if we can get that going. It's yeah, the more accessible and easier it is, and yeah, the more fine tuning you can do, because it's when we're so busy, you're doing races all year, and then like you get to the off season, and to be honest, like the last thing you want to be doing is spending another weekend at a wind tunnel. So like if you can just do it on the road, and yeah, with a Wahoo, then yeah, that'd be flipping awesome, to be honest.
Is there like whispers in the bunch who's doing the most aero testing? Like this, because the kind of breakaway analogy you were given, so much of that in my head is psychological. Like you're pushing when they're pushing to kind of crack them. But if there's a rider that I know, look, I'm doing 370 watts and he's the same weight as me and he's only doing 340, that starts to crack me a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it's you've still got to do it, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? It's like no matter what the other person's doing, you still got to push to get them. But yeah, I try not to think about the watts too much, and just it's all about feeling. And if I'm feeling good, then I'll push a bit harder, and if not so good, then yeah, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, yeah, fair. Talk to me about Worlds. Uh, Crazy, insane. Do you know what? I was so close to sticking an each way bet on you. I was out on the group spin on Saturday.
Not allowed to tell me this.
And the lads were like, who do you reckon? And I was like, oh, I reckon Ben Healy for an each way. Because the bookies pay five deep for each way here. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
and then I was absolutely gutted I didn't. Could have split the money with you, or not.
See, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that come up to me and go, "I'm sticking a bet on you. Is that a good idea?" I'm like, "You can't tell me this, like
I stick on my house
stop
on you,
it."
mate.
Yeah, yeah, like like in the Olympics, like they when this massive, like the bigger than anti-doping was the cause about betting. You're like, okay, you could get in real trouble for this,
Oh,
So
can you actually, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Like as a rider, it's like you're not even allowed to say if you're injured on your social media or anything because it can influence the
Oh,
betting
influence the
markets. It's
betting
like
markets.
it's mental when you start digging into it. So yeah, well, don't tell me that. You
Isn't it
put a bet on
wild though
me.
how much like access? Say if you were like, I know I've had Dirk Friel on the podcast from Training Peaks. Like if you were a little bit of a nefarious software owner like that, you could dig into riders' data and go, "Oh,
Yeah,
Ben's on a flyer this weekend," because everyone's sharing like their Whoop data and shit from onto their Training Peaks as well. Now it's like, oh, he hasn't slept well. Like money's
yeah,
not on
yeah.
him tonight.
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm sure if they did if you won a big bet and they didn't want to pay out, they'd definitely find some way, you know. Just hope that doesn't get me in trouble.
My uncle
Yeah.
actually won a bet back like 20, 30 years ago, massive like accumulator on horses in London.
Uh-huh.
I went around to collect it the next morning. The bookies had closed down.
Yeah. Convenient that.
uh,
Yeah.
Third in Worlds is Ireland's best result. Kelly, obviously 87. I think, Roach 87. I think Kelly pulled a bronze in 89. It's like, it's been a long time. How did that happen? Like, how much of a, I know national team at the best of times, it can be not the most cohesive unit because you only come together a few times a year. But like, how much of a solo mission versus a team effort was that?
Honestly, it was a massive team effort, and yeah, if you switch on the TV with 50K to go because it's such a hard race, you wouldn't really see that. But to be honest, like yeah, Ireland after last year were just like incredible. Like the support Cycling Ireland gave to us this year was yeah insane to be honest. And I think it was a big logistical challenge just to be there, you know. And thankfully EF helped out with that as well. But yeah, they on the ground Ireland were just incredible all week. And then in the race as well, like you know we've got some strong riders now, you know.
Yeah,
And
it's getting legit now.
yeah, like seriously is, and like you look at Euros under 23 and junior as well, like with Gaffney and the other Rafferty, it's yeah, it's gonna be exciting times to be honest. But yeah, in Rwanda it was all about conserving energy, you know, with the altitude and yeah, the amount of elevation meters, it was just yeah, such an attritional world. And to be honest, the thing that would really sapping everyone was the air pollution there, which was just like through the roof, you know. And this was just like I think this was the big battle for everyone to be honest. And yeah, it was all for me, or it was all about just racing as conservatively as possible. And unfortunately, that's not the most exciting way to race. But I knew, you know, if I try and follow Tadej on Mount Kigali, where everyone knew he was going to go, it was like I'm just gonna blow up. And you see all the guys that tried to follow him, like eventually they did, you know, they just blew up. So really, it was the first 9 laps. I was like to the guys, you know, just get me as easy as possible to the bottom of the 2 climbs on the circuit, and then I can just sandbag. And that's what I did. And yeah, I would roll in their wheel up to the climb, getting there for top 10 wheels, and by the top of the climb, I was at the back of the peloton. And
Nice.
you know, like my average power for the world is probably like it's not impressive at all, you know, because I just rode such an efficient race. And that's why I had some gas in the final. And to be honest, that was all down to the team. Like if they weren't doing that for me, then I wouldn't have been able to do that myself.
So who'd you got? It was you, Rory Townsend, Eddie, Ryan,
Mullen and Rafferty.
Rafferty, oh, Darren as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's good to know.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like, and you think of
yeah.
riders that
Real,
didn't go there. Like Jamie's had a super end to the season at
yeah,
Cofidis. Sam is Sam. Obviously, not a great course for him. But like,
yeah.
there's a lot
Dylan
of Dylan
as well.
Corkery stepping up to World
Yeah,
Tour as well now. Dinky,
exactly,
good lad.
exactly.
Yeah, there's some talent coming through, and then you've set Dunwoody coming up. You say Gaffney coming up.
Yeah,
Really good lads coming through.
exactly. It's going to be exciting times to be honest. So I think yeah, championship teams are going to be pretty hard to get into in the future.
On Kigali when Poggy went, it's like okay, the Remco one, nothing wrong with his saddle. Did you watch that footage?
Yeah, I
He's
think I
cracked in
think
the
his
head.
head
That's
goes, doesn't
footballer.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You see when Taddy goes and he can't go, he definitely gets in a bit of a tiz, doesn't he? So
But it's like, here's my theory on it, right? So he's saying his saddle slipped. But if you watch the footage when he attacked you on Kigali, what does he do? He gets out of the saddle and accelerates. But
mhm.
then when Tade goes, everyone around him's getting out of the saddle to try and accelerate and follow. Remco with a supposedly slipping seat post, stay seated. First thing I'm
Yeah,
doing if my saddle slipping's getting out of the saddle.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you're doing the same power anyway, aren't you? So yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely his head, and yeah, after the race, it was his mechanic, who is also his cousin, outed him about his second
Yeah, I
bike, saying,
seen
"Oh,
that. Yeah.
we don't know what's wrong with it." So, yeah, I mean, yeah, make that as what you will. But
But to be
I
fair, he
think,
deserved that because he tried to throw the mechanic under the bus, like with the banging the saddle and stuff. And the mechanic came out, it's like, don't know what's wrong with him. The bike was
yeah, yeah,
grand.
yeah, yeah. I know. To be honest, like, what are you going to achieve by banging your saddle? Like, if it's a millimeter out,
Yeah,
you're gonna just gonna make it worse, aren't you, if that moves? But yeah, all I have to say is he was flipping strong. Like when we was in a group with him, he was just towing us around. Like we were giving him the minimum amount possible, and he was just like an absolute train. It's just, I just think this acceleration Tade has, he just can't match it. But then after the time trial, he's just as strong.
yeah. Like you see Europeans when Tade went, like Remco can follow for a bit, but then it's just like he takes that cyanide tablet and it's just like,
Yeah, exactly. He just yeah, he can't face losing. He's a winner, isn't he? And I mean, he's been touted to be the next big thing since he was a junior when he was just riding them people out his wheels, and I think he definitely struggles that someone's better than him.
like, is it like these guys are beyond superstars? Like, there's a pretty good argument that maybe Poggy's the greatest rider ever. It's like it's definitely a two-horse race with Poggy and Merckx. What's it like to be in the race beside these guys? Like, how good is Poggy?
Yeah, he's just unbelievable to be honest. Like yeah, there's a reason why he wins solo every single time, and he looks fresh when he crosses the line. So it's yeah, I look at it as an example of like, so this year Lara 4.5 minute effort. I did like 495 watts at 62 kilos, and he put 15 seconds into me. You know, but and like people, like I've seen people look at that race and go like, why is no one else trying? And like that's how easy he makes it look. It's like I am flipping trying. It's just like he's just that much better than us, and it's yeah, it's honestly it's pretty demoralizing, but at the same time, at least like he is in contention to be the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like at least he has got that title, and like he's that much better for a reason. It's not just that we're a bad generation.
I think psychologically, getting bronze and getting silver are two very different experiences. Like, if you're getting silver, you're going home a little pissed, thinking, oh, what could have been? If you're getting bronze, you're like, what could have been? I could have got fourth and I could have came away with nothing. Two
Mm.
very different mental experiences were just separated by a couple of inches on height on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I was over the moon with bronze to be honest. Yeah, I was really struggling in the week before, and yeah, just with like the air quality and everything, and yeah, to finish on a podium in the end, like I honestly didn't expect it. So yeah, to cross the line and be on the podium with them two was, yeah, flipping special to be honest. And yeah, just makes me hungry. Like I do, like the dream is the rainbow jersey, and it's so
Yeah.
you've got to try and beat Taddy. But yeah, I'm getting there, so you never know.
Yeah, you need someone to take him out. It seems to be the only
Yeah.
way to beat this lad at the moment.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately.
do you see yourself as one of the best riders in the world now? Which, like, you are. You just came third in the worlds, but is that a difficult? People talk about having imposter syndrome. Like, do you see yourself as on a par with Poggy and Remco and Skelmos and these guys who are contesting the biggest one day races?
Yeah, I find it really weird to be honest, and I've always felt like a bit of a dark horse and an underdog in races, and like I think that image around me is changing, and people tell me that, but like for myself, I don't actually feel like that, which is weird. But I need to accept that because also like then people treat me differently in races now and expect different things from me. So yeah, it's something that I'm learning, and yeah, I need to, yeah, I'm coming to terms with it, I guess.
Because the hierarchy in the bunch is still quite old school and traditional. Like, teams that as a viewer, you might look and go, "Oh, cool! They're all world tour. They all have equal respect for each other." But then, I'll be chatting to Mullen or something, and I'll chat him like, basically how's work going, and he's like, I'm just basically riding up and saying like, "You're shit. Get out of the way. You're riding for like arcade. What are you doing in my way? You shouldn't be
Yeah,
here." And it's like there's a clear pecking order and a food chain inside in the bunch. Are you now getting to the point where it's like, oh shit, it's Ben Healy, let him in?
yeah, yeah. I think with Ryan, that's just because he's bigger than everyone else and can do that. You know,
He's a
I'm
bulldozer.
smaller. I'm smaller than everyone else, so there's not as much getting away with that. But Yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm definitely starting to feel like there's a bit of a not quite a red carpet rolled out for me, but like in Luxembourg, which was my first race after the tour, I was like, after the first stage, I like said to the DS, oh yeah, this was position was easy. Like I didn't even have to try, and I was at the front, and I think that was more of the way that people were treating me rather than me getting better in positioning. So
Yeah. Becomes
yeah,
a
it's
self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess, though, because you're going to get better position now into key points, especially in the Ardennes.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, I think positioning is always something I've been quite good at, but it's like you have to take big risks for it. And I guess now it's just there's the odd person who's going to fight you a bit less, which just then makes it easier, doesn't it?
I'm genuinely proud of my little man cave. My escape, my safe place. It's not glamorous by any means. It's crammed into the spare room in our apartment with bikes stacked in the corner, boxes everywhere, and the smell of chain lube is just kind of hanging in the air. But in that corner, that's where the work gets done. That's where I switch off from everything else and I lock in on my training. And the centerpiece of it all, it's the WAHOO Kicker Bike Pro. Honestly, it's the ultimate man cave bike. The thing just feels alive under you. It climbs, it descends, it shifts all automatically. You can dial into your exact position to the millimeter, just like your outdoor bike. And with the new setup, everything's smoother, quieter, and way more immersive. It's that perfect mix of comfort and performance that makes indoor cycling feel like a privilege, not like a punishment. And look, I'm Irish. I'm sitting in Ireland recording this right now. I know what it's like to wake up, look out the window, see wind, rain, and sideways hail, and think, do I really want to be out there today? And that's where the kicker comes in. You can get a world class session done right there in your safe little space, no matter what's happening outside. If you want to build your own version of that space, a place to train hard, stay consistent, and escape for a little bit, check out WAHOO at wahoofitness.com. They've got everything from the flagship Kicker Bike Pro to the Kicker Core 2, which gives you that same legendary ride feel at a killer price point. WAHOO, building the better athlete in all of us. Pitcock's had a big step up this year as well. Like last year, I probably would have said if you just looked strictly at his road Palmares pro cycling stats, maybe one of the most overrated riders in the bunch. If you didn't talk about this crazy talent he has, multidisciplinary, but now this year he seems to fulfill it again, like fulfill the expectation that people had of him. He's stepping up to really be one of the top lads. That bracket of top lads that just win, they must win 80% of the races. Is that where you want to be seeing yourself now in that group of lads who can consistently be there or thereabouts in the biggest one day races?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think it's always going to be hard for me to be that rider that wins all the time because obviously I'm not the best in the sprint. And like it's not that easy to just win solo all the time. You've got to be, or for me at least, I've got to be on really my peak shape. And yeah, I feel like that takes me a second to get to, and I need a few races also to get there. But yeah, I think when I target an event, then I definitely believe I can be a part of that top echelon.
What's the conversations with your coach around the sprint? Is there talk that like, let's go away, let's hit a big block of sprint training and let's hit the gym? Maybe we're never going to win a bunch of sprints, but can we win out of a group of four? Is that a
Yeah,
conversation?
we think it's a balancing act to be honest with me because it's like if we go all in on the sprint training and all the gym and all this stuff, and it's like is that going to take away from what I'm actually good at? And that's something that we've always been afraid of. And like this winter, we did go away and like really try and like make my sprint better, and it got a lot better. And like it did, but it was still needs to go quite a bit more to start winning sprints, I guess, in the final. But like yeah, I've never really felt like I've got to a final of the race and even been able to sprint. And okay, Liège this year, I got absolutely dusted by Ciccone. But he's actually
He's
quite a
fast enough as well,
good.
though.
But like I felt like I was competitive against him, even though he lost. But it's like I feel like even that was a step in the right direction. So yeah, maybe with a bit more of that and a bit more work and yeah, some technique stuff and gym and yeah, more sessions focused towards that, then for sure maybe it will get better. But yeah, like I say, it's just I want to stick to what I'm good at and yeah, it also makes racing quite simple for me. It's there's no oh do I do this or do I do that? It's like I know I've got to drop everyone and win solo.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of like that to be honest.
Yeah, I guess it's mentally refreshing because, and it's a good calculation to make because even if you improve your sprint, you add 200 watts to your sprint, are you still 400 watts away from? Because a lot of fast lads are getting to the end of these Ardennes, like you Van der Poel, Wout, Poggy, Pitcock. They're all fast guys.
Yeah, and I'm leagues away from them, So the amount of work I'd have to get there, then it's like, yeah, is it gonna ruin what I'm actually good at? And that's always the worry. So yeah, it's a bit of a dilemma, and yeah, it's not like we're just forgetting about it and going, oh no, it just is what it is. We're definitely trying to improve that because there are people that can do both, but yeah, it's just not natural for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just finding that balance.
How do you figure out race weight? This conversation I was having with a mate this morning because I was chatting to Jonas Abrahamson on the podcast last week. That's a mad story. He went from 58 kilograms to 78 kilograms. Like, who's sitting around at 58 kilograms as a bike rider thinking I'll stick on 20 kg and it's going to make me better? But how do you start to figure out where your best weight is? I know you're working with the guys at Hexas, Sam Impey and David Dunn, but is it just experimentation and you going, my sensations are better at this weight, regardless of power to weight calculations?
Yeah, so I think for me, I've kind of got a bit of a different perspective on it because I've like as a junior and under 23, I didn't step on a scale. Like I just didn't think about it. I didn't like this. It's all about like tracking food and doing everything perfect right now. And like I just didn't have any understanding about nutrition or weight or anything like this. So, and I'm actually really grateful for that because I just ate when I was hungry and I ate when I felt necessary and I loaded for races and didn't even think twice about what that would do to my weight.
Yeah.
And okay, I look back now and I was like, I'm chubby. I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, sometimes people whip up pictures of me and like there's like this classic one in me in like Wiggins gear and I'm like doing a classic somewhere and I'm just like like just look like a chickmunt with a full of mouthful. Um but yeah, at the time I had no idea that I was like maybe overweight or like overweight for my race weight. And it's only really when I turned professional, then it was like, okay, we're gonna start working on this and like, now you're gonna try and like track some food and lose weight the right way. And yeah, that was like a big learning curve for me. And honestly, I think that was one of the biggest reasons why I had such a big step up from my first year pro to my second year pro in 23 because I managed to lose like 4 kilos and like kept the same power because I was just carrying a bit of extra weight before. Um, and so yeah, and then since then it's kind of been a process because I actually managed to get to like a really low weight then, and I've never really achieved that again. And last year, like I was definitely stressed about that, and yeah, it's not a very like I was trying to do everything absolutely perfectly and not really listening to my body about like when I was hungry or stuff like this. And yeah, that I think I paid the price for that last year. But now this year, I kind of again just like when we sat down, I was like, what's gone wrong in 24 and how can we improve that in 25? And it's just be less stressed about it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a kilo or two heavier, because like not for being stupid, like if that's just because yeah, things like maybe one day I've been a bit hungry and I need to fuel properly for training, then I'll do that. And if that means that I'm going to be a bit extra weight when I'm at a race, and you know what, just don't stress about it. And honestly, this approach is just like it's so much more refreshing. I'm not like picking rice off the plate because it's 20 grams overweight or something. I'm just like I'm being calculated, but a lot more general at the same time. To kind of take that stress away and yeah, just let it be as it is and following a guideline, but not being like strict with it.
Yeah, because we can measure so much in cycling, but like you used the word there a few times in this conversation, like stress, we still don't do a very good job of measuring that. And maybe if we look back in 10 years' time and go, oh, actually, we have a really good way of measuring stress. The riders who were creating low stress environments for themselves, that was actually much, much more important than the 20 grams extra of rice.
Yeah, no, 100%. I really believe that like yeah, it's stress is only a negative emotion, and it's like it does weird things and yeah, the more you stress about it, the worse you're going to go in my experience. And yeah, it's also the same when I put pressure on results. Like if you stress about results, you only go worse. So, or for me, in my experience at least, and yeah, same goes for weight. If I'm if I'm a kilo overweight, then I'm not going to stress about it, and it just is. It is what it is, and I'm going to do the best of what I got.
So who's the team around you at the moment? They're like your close circle of, you know, nutritionists, aerodynamics. Like, what does that look like? This performance team around Ben Healy to strike for this world title, hopefully in the next, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, so yeah, EF is obviously a big part of that in general. But yeah, the guys that I work really close with and is my coach, Jacob Tipper. Like I said, I've been with him for 10 years now, and he's actually coming on board with EF as
Oh,
well.
that's
And
class.
he's been a massive part of my career, to be honest. And yeah, just great coach, good relationship, and just understands the way that I work, and yeah, his coaching methods seem to really suit me as well. So yeah, it's just super good fit, and it's worked up until now. And then yeah, this year I started working super close with a different nutritionist, and that the team brought on called Anna Carcella, I think. It's a that's that name I can't pronounce very well, but she's called Anna, and she's absolutely amazing as well. So also just gets the way that I work, and also takes this like athlete first, no stress mentality, and just yeah, she's just really great communicator, which I think is super important in the world of sport. And yeah, to be honest, those are the main two people that I work with, and who look after me on like a day-to-day basis.
And day to day training wise, you still based out of Girona?
Andorra.
Oh, you going back tax break, baby. That
Yeah,
contract must
exactly.
have got renegotiated somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've been there for a couple of years now, and yeah, it's a good place, isn't it? So good mountains, so
Less of
and
a
a bit of tax
community, I
break.
hear though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so the way that I look at it, okay, I had a great time in Girona, and it definitely served its purpose. But I really see it as like a uni town for
Yeah,
cyclists,
it feels like that now when
and
you go there.
it really has like, and like it. Don't get me wrong, like I loved it there, and it was really great. But like I needed a break from Girona, and for me, Andorra was the next best place. So yeah, it just made sense to go there, and yeah, I'll always look back at Girona fondly. But it was definitely ready for time for me to move on from it.
It's a bit of a spring break vibe when you go over there.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, like when you first move abroad and everything's scary, then like it's the perfect place, because there's always a familiar face and a community out there. Um, but yeah, sometimes like I felt like I just needed to settle down a bit and yeah, grow up, I guess.
Who's your training partners up in Andorra?
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out, to be honest, because I haven't really been there super long, and we spent so much time away training. But yeah, the guy that I train with the most for sure is Harry Sweeney up there. So, but now yeah, Archie Ryan also moving up there full time now, so I'm sure I'll be out on there a lot of rides with him.
Little Irish contingent. When you're drawing your mind back to, we started the conversation talking about Ross Milne, but that's not the beginning of your story. You're on the bike many years before that. Who's the formative figures in creating Ben Healy, the bike rider?
Yeah, I think my dad's a massive part of why I ride a bike. Yeah, he's the one that first got me on it, and yeah, he's passionate about cycling, and kind of just yeah nudged me in that direction. Took me to local track, and got me into it via that, and yeah, then later down the line started taking me to races and stuff like this. And yeah, if it wasn't for him, for sure, I wouldn't be a cyclist now.
How does he deal with the new fame that's coming? I was chatting to Chris O'Callaghan the other day, who's Oisin O'Callaghan's dad, and obviously Oisin's, if anyone's not following the mountain bike scene, Oisin's rock star, one of the best downhill mountain bikers in the world at the moment. And his dad trying to, I can actually feel the pain of his dad on it because he's like, you want to stay out of the kid's business, but you also, it's your son and you need to be a wee bit protective at times because as you get more fame and as you start to accumulate a bit more wealth that goes with that, there is people that try and insert themselves into your life that aren't positive for you
Mhm.
as an athlete. How, how difficult is that to navigate for your dad?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good at it, to be honest. Like my dad's just a super chill guy, and yeah, goes with the flow. And honestly, I think he's just so happy and over the moon for me. And yeah, I think as long as I'm never making decisions based around just purely money, and I do everything for the love of it. And yeah, that's all he asked of me, I think. And yeah, it was just yeah, I'm just super proud that I can yeah pay him back for all the weekends he's driven me around the country and abroad to taking me to bike races. To be honest, because if it wasn't for him, then like I say, I definitely wouldn't be here. And yeah, it was such a special moment when I went to yellow because I flew my parents out and they
Oh,
were
that's
there at the
cool.
start to watch me. And yeah, this was a really really cool moment.
Did you get to keep the bike with all the wee bits of yellow trimming and all on it?
Working on it.
That's got to go up in your
It
garage or somewhere in the house or something cool.
Yeah, I hope so, but it's doing the rounds of like corporate things at the moment, so I
Surely
haven't
they
seen it
make a
since.
second one of them.
Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like I'm so proud of going into yellow, but at the same time, I didn't win the jersey. Do you know what I mean?
Every rider chases that feeling. The one where the bike just disappears, where the pedals turn easy and the road hums beneath you, and for a few fleeting seconds, everything just clicks. No effort, no noise, just flow. That moment isn't luck, it's engineering. The kind that only comes from obsession. For over 20 years, Parlee has refined the art of carbon. Every layer placed by hand, every angle tuned by feel and data until response, balance, and speed exist in perfect harmony. You don't notice a Parlee because it's flashy. You notice it because it feels right. Because every input, every climb, every corner happens exactly how you imagined it would. Custom or production, every frame goes through the same uncompromising process, traceable, tested, and finished by people who still believe craftsmanship matters. Parley doesn't chase trends, they chase that moment every rider lives for, when the bike and the body move as one. Parley Cycles, engineered for that feeling that keeps us coming back.
If I was Tade right now and it's like I saw pictures of me with like like if I had like the famous Lance image where like he sat on a sofa with like the seven
Yeah,
jerseys up
yeah.
behind him,
Do
like
it, man,
people
do
was like, are you gonna like frame the jersey? I'm like, I don't know if I really can do that, So,
it.
but yeah, that would be a hard image, wouldn't it? Sit on the sofa with the jersey behind me and bike on the wall, but yeah, yeah, maybe one day I'll win it. You never know.
I love that image of Lance lying on the sofa with the seven jerseys. Benji, who does Lantern Rouge podcast, photoshopped this picture of it. And he's like, fixed it for you, mate. It's just Lance lying on the sofa with seven empty frames behind him.
Oh no.
It's like,
Oh no.
classic.
Yeah.
Uh, Worlds is a, if you get there eventually, will it be with EF? How long are you in EF for, and what's contract situation looking like?
Yeah, I'm still contract for next year. That I signed 2 years ago. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, really. And yeah, for sure, there's a lot of interest now. So just yeah, playing the market, I guess, a bit, and yeah,
Andrew's
see
loving
what
life now. He is.
yeah, exactly. See what's out there. So, but yeah, no, it's yeah, I'm just in a pretty nice position at the moment. And if I want to stay, then I think I can stay. But yeah, also it's good to see what's out there at the end of the day.
You mentioned the team haven't, and you haven't really invested in aero and marginal gains. Is that a plan for the off season, or is it just more chill, get the stress down, and compound the more of the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm always pushing for, and I think especially with my coach coming on board now as well, he can kind of do that side of things, and yeah, it's always yeah, it's always yeah, just trying to get the best out of all the sponsors and all the team, and for sure they do a great job, but it's such a personal thing. Um, yeah, everything's got to be specific to an individual, and when you're a team of 30 guys, it's quite hard to do.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think maybe now I'll have a bit more leeway in that sort of side of things, and but yeah, we'll see how that goes.
yeah. It feels like 2024 was a real fork in the road moments where, not that you could have dropped out of the world tour. I think you're always going to have a good world tour career for a number of years, but it wasn't destined that you were going to be one of the stars of the sport. Now it's like, oh shit, he had the yellow jersey in the tour. He's got toured in the worlds. It almost looks more likely that you're going to be one of the big stars next year than you're not going to be one of the big stars next year. That's a wild spot to be in. Like,
Yeah, sounds like a lot of pressure to me, but yeah, no, it's also pretty cool, and it's what I work so hard for, So yeah, if I can live up to that, then yeah, brilliant.
let's go, Ben. Congratulations. Like, you're living, what, so many of us, especially around Ireland, set out riding a bike. Everyone dreams of wearing a yellow jersey, or you're 8 years old and you're racing your dad and pretending you have a yellow jersey, and you got to pull it off. And I think, in a small country, you're carrying those dreams for a lot of the generations gone, and inspiring a lot of kids. Like, I look at my nephew, and he's like 2 years old, and I'm sitting down watching the Tour de France with him, and I'm like, hey, like, there's Ben Healy. Like, I used to race against him the whole time. It's like, it's cool. Like,
Yeah, no, that's exactly the things you want to hear, you know. It's yeah, just hope it gets more people on the bikes and racing, and I think there's really some good times to come in Cycling Ireland, and yeah, it starts at the grassroots, doesn't it, at the end of the day? So yeah, I mean, the dream would be for the Ross to come back and me being able to go race it with the national team, you know. Yeah, if someone can pull that off, and that would be amazing because you know it's yeah, I owe so much to Cycling Ireland and cycling in Ireland, so any way I could pay that back would be awesome.
Yeah, I think obviously for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, the Ross is kind of like our Tour of Ireland, but it's dropped down from UCI 2.2 to more of a domestic race. It's actually just like a longer Ross Moon now because it's 5 days and it's the standard, yeah, is kind of like Ross Moon when you won it. So it's still like a decent standard, but I don't think it'd be fully equipped for you to come back and just annoy lads in it next year.
Yeah, maybe not, but yeah, you know, like the Ross is such an iconic race, and it's had some yeah pretty great winners as well, hasn't it? You
Have
know,
you ridden
so
it?
no, never got to become a man of the Ross. So
Actually, because I'm
yeah,
debating, I'm like, oh, should I do? I'm stuck on I've 9 done, and I'm like, do it? No one gives a shit that I do 10 or 9. Like I know no one cares about that. No one's going, oh, it'd be cool if you done 10. Where I don't know. I like the idea of finishing on a round number. So
yeah. Nah, you've got to do that, don't you? You're so close to it. You know, you've done nine already. What's one more?
yeah, no, yeah, but you think that, and then you smash yourself, dinky nails you into a parked car or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Part of the fun.
yeah. No, we'll get you back. We'll get you back on a Roadman Ross team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, no, because it's yeah. This is the thing. I always feel guilty when I can't come to nationals as well because you know that's my option. But yeah, it's. I think that now there's a way that cycling is. It's always a choice between like you know performing at the tour or performing at nationals. Which yeah, it always hurts a little bit
yeah.
when I can't come back. But yeah, it's that on the tour unfortunately. I think
Don't
so.
worry, everyone's delighted when you don't show up. It's like you're meant to
Yeah.
be attacking with 100k to go.
Yeah, yeah, but nah, I think it'd be pretty cool though, you know, do the tour on national jersey. I'll probably have to make it work one year, but yeah, it's quite difficult to do.
You know what you should do actually? Be cool. I remember years ago Armstrong came to Ireland and he done this just like a ride for everyone around the
Hmm.
park in Dublin. And it was like thousands of people showed out. Like I guarantee if
Oh
you done
yeah,
like an hour ride around the Phoenix Park in Dublin, you get like
yeah,
5,000 people or something to show up for it. That'd be
yeah,
epic.
yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe we'll have to put something like that into the works. That'd be good.
Ben, appreciate you. I know you're racing this weekend, finishing out season at Il Lombardia. Best luck in that, and then yeah, enjoy the off season.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.